Hey, and welcome back to the Builded Basement. Right off the bat, if you like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe. If you're into 3D printers, software, hardware, building them, tweaking them, breaking them even, right? Yeah, hit subscribe. Go ahead and like this video and check out what else I have to offer. Right now, we're going to jump right back into our Voron 0.1 build. We're working on the frame today, and hopefully we can get through it. So let's jump right in it. So when we last left off, we had our Z-frame all done. We went and took a couple rails off. They had us build to square things up. And this is what we're at right now. So let's take a look at the manual real quick. So let's see here. That's where we were. So let's go up from here. So frame. So we're going to be pulling E extrusions here. And do note that two of the four extrusions that you're going to be pulling already have some rails on here, so don't be misguided thinking you only got the two, because you have the two plus the two you already put some linear rails on. Scratched my head for a second looking at that a minute ago before I jumped into this. So what they want us to do is go ahead and get these set on there. So it looks like from the perspective of the drawing, our bed is going to be like this, and we're putting our linear rails like so, with the longer blank spots towards the back. So we're going to look something like this in a moment. Leave that like that for a second. Let's see here. They don't show us putting screws in there at all, but that's the only way they're going to stay. So we do. Okay, so we do have holes in the back here. So these holes are going to line up around about where we should expect them to, so that we can tighten these things up. So let's see what we have into this. We're pretty close. All right. I'm obviously not going to tighten these up too much. Just enough to hold them there for a second. Kind of see what we're working with here. Camera a little bit for you. There you go. Just enough to hold it just a little bit there. Those two are going to wind up like that. And then we're also putting the bottom sections in, which will also bypass, overshoot a little bit. Like so. This one's actually kind of snug already. All right, like that. Flip her over. And take care of this screw over here real quick. Okay, so these are not by any means tight. They're just holding things in place. Back to the manual here. What do we got? We've got them showing us some M3x10s on the back side of these. Now, one thing I noted earlier in another video was that the screws, or the extrusions actually, didn't seem like they were drilled out long enough to be able to fit these M3x10 screws. So let's take a look at that here real quick. We'll see. Just get one of these in just for a second. Yep, that will make it. All right. Let me go ahead and check all 4 of these before I do anything. That's an odd one. That one already tight. I'm pretty sure I didn't strip that out, but that screw looks a little rough. Ugly looking screw. So straight out of the bin. Have an ugly looking screw. Poor quality thing going on there. Let's set that one aside. Grab another one. No reason why that head should be stripped out. Yep. And let's grab these guys down here just to make sure. Bottoming out. Perfect. Now, one thing we'll do before we actually put those in is a little bit of this ThreadLocker. That in there. This one. There. Smidge on that one. Nope. There. And that one right there. So basically this one slides on so that they're preloaded. That. Leave about 3 or 4 millimeters or 3/16 of an inch, give or take. So there's that, there's that. All right, so we did that, and on the fronts too. Because if you do it once, why not do it twice, right? So get them on the side. Now I have a little foolish confidence that these extrusions are all drilled out deep enough, so we'll just skip testing them out this time and see where fate leads us. These in a little deep. Yep. Go. All right. So M3x10s in this tiny little printer, Voron 0.1 build. All right, and the goalposts going in the back. These are H extrusions, which we've noted in our kit. Our H's and our C's are the same. which means they're actually they're double drilled, one on each side. So basically, now let's go here. They are drilled on that side, nothing there, but double on that side, times 2. So these are going to go wind up going on an interesting way they did that. They're gonna wind up on the back side, something like so. And we'll partially tighten these guys down. Again, I'm not tightening anything really. I'm just snugging it up so it doesn't fall apart when we work on this, because we're gonna have to square this all up. This is kind of like a pre-assembly, if you will. Let's get that right there. I'm basically just tightening them until they are snug. I don't really want grabbing. I want to hold. One thing we're going to have to make sure we're doing, because we are doing this, is when we come back, we're going to have to make sure we hit every single one of these things. There's a pretty decent opportunity here to miss a screw and have a loose screw on the build. We don't want to do that. So, all right, so this is where we're at. All right. Back this guy up a little bit. There we go. All right. So as I noted before, with this LDO kit, you can tell everything's not squared up right now. It should not wiggle like that, but we'll get this squared up here eventually. These rails, I don't know if the rail is slightly bent or if the extrusion is slightly bent. If I loosen up my rails completely, this will slide freely. It's not a left to right thing. It is a backwards and forwards thing with these. They're, like I said, if I loosen them up and allow them to flex, not with the extrusion, it flows a lot better. But honestly, this is going to be on a lead screw. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So I think we're going to be all set. It's not jamming up or anything like that. It's just kind of holds itself a little bit. All right, so now they want us to measure. When we measure, we're measuring 37. It looks like we're measuring from basically putting the bed mount facing our bench here. And see here, do I have that? Yeah. We're placing this like this. They want us to measure 37 between this top right here and this bed or the rail right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab some calipers out and make sure we zero these out first and see what we got. It should be pretty close right out, simply because the hole is where it is. That's 36.5. Okay, 37.98. And do this. Let's actually set this thing to 37. Which another 0.1 out of us once we got that in. And just walk it right to where we want it. Probably going to be easier if we do this horizontally. And I'm thinking about it. Horizontally this way so I keep it nice and flat. Okay. Move that right like that. Boom, like that. So just for viewing purposes here. Doing is we're measuring this out to 37. We have the calipers right where we want them. Pull that out, hold that down once we're right where we want to be. Off to the side here. Applying some downward pressure while I do this. Right. Now that's semi-tight, we're going to get back in there with this. Get it the rest of the way. There we go. Double check. Good. Alright, do the same on the other side here. Go on this one. Like that. That. Switch over to here. Pardon my big head in the way here. Tighten that up. And double check it. Pretty good. All right, get the other side. Up. Tighten it down. That. Okay. Last but not least, this one. By the time you get to the fourth one, I think should be pretty decently lined up. You're gonna have a little bit of difficulty if you need to move that, but you shouldn't have to move it much. So let's go through and double check these real quick. Good. 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 All right. One last check. Get down at eye level with this. almost like you're back in a high school chemistry class looking for a meniscus on some liquid. Having a bright light behind you, behind the piece that you're measuring wouldn't be a bad thing. You can see that light shining through your gaps if you have any. But that's pretty good right there. All right. So we did that. And let's see, let's talk about chain visibility. Now what they haven't had us do yet is tighten up these top rails. These are still floating. But at this point, I think we can go ahead and do that. What I will do when I'm doing that is grab one of these, hold it tight. Kind of hold it in every direction at the same time. Try to get it close. Same on this side. Working on the edge of a table is a plus if you use Allen keys here. Okay. Over. Same thing again. Last but not least, there we go. All right. All right. So what are we looking at here? We got visibility, chain visibility. We won't be showing the chain in later pictures. Okay. So we've got. Okay. So what are we doing here? We're preloading some nuts. Run 3 nuts. 3, 3, 4, 3, 3. All right. And we're mounting. We're mounting our chain here. So let me see if I can figure out where they're mounting this chain, because they're showing, I think right in this corner right here. We don't have a preloaded nut in there, so we're going to have to do something about that. Let's see here. Grab a nut. And really show us if that's right on the end or not, but looks like it's right there on the end. I'll slide that in right there. Let me get my chain real quick. Found the chain. All right, so we're going to go ahead and decouple the end of this chain from the actual chain. The smaller chain is pretty tight. Let me see here. Here real quick. Come on. There we go. All right. There's safekeeping. And 3x6 on that one. 40. Okay. Pull this back a little bit. think what we'll do, put a little ThreadLocker on that. No reason not to. Oh, I don't show. Okay, show going through a hole. We'll put it down the bottom a little bit. Hold it, slide it over, line it up with the rails. I mean, with the extrusions. Up a little bit. There we go. We get that on there. Makes sense. Chain is probably going to wind up going something along the lines of this. So that looks good. One thing I did notice about the chain, since I'm looking at it, is it does not open. This is not an openable chain. It's a pretty short run, so I don't think it'd be an issue, but if it was an issue, I'm sure you can probably get a snap open chain. Like I said, this one right here, it does not have the open. It does not open. Does not have clips on it to open it. So it's short at least. So it won't be that big of an issue. All right, so we're preloading some nuts here. Let's see how many nuts and where. Get a little complicated looking at this in kind of a three-dimensional space. So it looks like they want us to load 3 M3 nuts on the tops of the extrusions that have our rails on them. So we'll get that done first. So 3 on each side for these. One. And nut sticking up a little bit on this one. Odd. There we go. We got 3 in this one. And 3 on the other one. 1, 2, 3. That. So that gives us our 3 here, our 3 here. We have the chain endpoint right there. So now we're looking at, let's see here, 3. Wow, this one right here is pretty odd looking. What they're looking for here is, why does that look so odd? Oh, I see, that's the top extrusion, that's the bottom. So 3 on the bottom and on the outside. On the bottom right, let's do that first. So 3 on the bottom and the side. So 3 here, 3 here. Oh. 3 here, 3 here. One. 2. 3. And then 3 on the bottom side, it looks like. So we did 3 on the side right here. So now we're gonna do 3 on this bottom point right here. So that'd be right here. One. And I ran out of preloaded. Thanks to the magic of YouTube, I have more nut holders. Back to it. All right, so where we at? We're back. We're back. All right, so we're at this confusing page, trying to figure out where all these nuts are going. Going nuts, figuring out where the nuts go, so to speak. All right, we had done, let's see, we had done portion of the 3, so we did the 3 and the 3 here. Okay, make sure that's correct. That's on the high end. 3 here, 3 here. Slide those back a little bit. All right, 3, 3, and then on the bottom side, on this right here, we need. Let's see, we have 1, 2 here. We need 3 here in total on this side, which we have 1, 2, 3, and we need 4 on the bottom. So 3 here, 4 on the bottom. So this is the side. Bottom side, right side, and then on the bottom here we're looking to put an additional 4. I have 1. Go ahead and get the other 3 in there and keep moving forward. Down, down. So it's a rarity that people watch these things all the way through. People kind of skip ahead to what they're having trouble with or what they're interested in, but for those that are watching at this moment in time, I tell you, if you are going to print off these nut holders, these no drop nut holders, these whatever you want to call them, print 100 of them. I don't know exactly how many you need, but the kit comes with roughly 110. Oops. Broke that one. Roughly 110 M3 nuts. So you will roughly need 100 or so holders. And you will need them. Unless you go it without the nut holders, which I don't suggest. Only imagine what this would be like trying to assemble this without these holders in here. I guess you could argue that I'm wasting a decent amount of time putting them in, but counter argue how much of a mess it would be just having nuts floating around in this thing. I mean, literally, what you'd be looking at is nut just sitting in there, hanging out like that. That falls out every time you move anything, and picture a good 30 or 40 of those falling out at a time, huh? That'd be pretty cool. All right, so let's see. We have 4 in that one. Now, what they're not telling us, and what I don't see here, is we need any on this other side. Okay, right here. So that's the bottom. So they are showing. So since you can't see the back side of this right here, they're showing them right here. So we do need to put 3. We do need to put 3 on this side over here. So 3 more here. And there's a page, another page or two that kind of goes over or does a double check that you have your nuts in a row. And I can make so many nut jokes, but let's keep it PG and appropriate for all ages. All right. think we're good. All right, so we got 3 up there, 3 up there. So this is pretty much, guys, this is pretty much the angle they're looking at this side. So like that. And I have 3 here, 3 here. I have none up here, none up here, but I have 4 here, 4 here, and 3 and 4. Yes, 4 and 4, 3 and 3. Sorry if I stated that wrong a second ago. All right, and on times, we're gonna go ahead and slide in a piece of acrylic or plastic. We'll find out what that is in a second. Let's go get that real quick. Actually, give you the full view here. So, get my table of goodies. Get everything out. I don't like setting stuff out. All my plastic parts based on where they're going. For instance, hot end parts, or I should say mini afterburner parts. My feet on the bottom down here. Everything's kind of in a location that I can find it when I need it. And we need this. This acrylic. All right. So, put some of these nuts away. Second. There. And let's go ahead and peel this. End up with here. Frosted mat. What I don't see is any screwed holes in this, which is in the picture on the screen. They're showing some holes screwed off in this, so I'm gonna go check that real quick. If I have a different piece, they have holes in it. Don't see one. But this guy checks out for everything else. Got the notch here. Actually, let me do this one right here. It's got, of course, this is overlapping a little bit. We'll do this. So this piece right here has the notches on the ends right here and right here. It's got a big notch back here. It's got a little notch back here for our chain. So I think we got the right part. Take this apart. I would leave the paper on this, but there's a high likelihood I won't be able to get it off once it's in. It looks like it's going to slide into the extrusions. So one tip, I'm going to try it out. I haven't tried it on this material yet, but I use some, not that hot, but some warm air. So a lot of times when you have acrylics and other things that come with kind of protective covering on it, they want to come off in little pieces. So that's what was happening right here already. But what I like to do, or I should say what I've had luck with in the past, hitting that with a little bit of warm air, getting underneath it. I ripped it a little bit, makes a little bit more work, but once I can get to a point where I have one solid workable piece here, this usually makes things go a little bit easier. Not a necessity by any means, but you could use a hair dryer, a heat gun. This is just the hot air off of my reflow stations, so I have it turned down to about 130 degrees Celsius. I don't want it really enough to melt anything or burn anything. I just want it just enough to loosen up those glues. Actually, a nice piece of plastic. Got a nice matte finish on that thing. Pretty piece of plastic. Go ahead and I can't even get a corner on this stuff. Heat up a corner here. Again, I got this turned down to about 130 degrees, so chances of damaging the plastic are pretty small. But there. Places like here where it's been cut off, it would normally just rip. Maybe you're luckier than I am. Another option would be just to simply do someplace where it's warm and sunny out, throw in the sun for about 15 minutes before I do it too. But we got a little space heater to put in front of without causing a fire. Just about anything. I just don't like struggling with stickers and coverings and those types of things. So, get rid of that. And, alright, so this guy, right about the way that is, and I'm gonna actually tip mine up, give a better view. And this is going to slide in. Something like so. Looky, looky. Really digging the black and the blue. Nice, nice, nice. Like it. A little excited there on that. The little things that get me excited. Alright, so now we need some B extrusions, and our AB extrusions on our LDO kit were the same. We're going to preload it with 4 M3 nuts, and we're gonna put some M3 by 10s on the end. So we're gonna use one of these. So we're gonna grab one of these guys. And these have no holes. So basically these are blanks. But they are tapped on the ends. So we're gonna put some M3 by 10s, button head screws there in the end. Some BHCS's. Let's see here, where are our 10s? Right here. 10s. Okay. Back to this view. That will do ya. That guy right in right there. Snag a little bit on this one. More. I said before, I don't recall if it was this particular build series, but I'm a huge fan of this Loctite stick versus the Loctite or the Zap ThreadLockers. Way less messy. Sticks to the surfaces, and as far as I can tell, it works just as well. I haven't had any issues with it. Alright, so let's go back to this. So we did that. So now we're going to preload 4 M3 nuts into this, and it doesn't really matter which side we pick to put those M3 nuts into, because all the sides are the same. So let's get them in there. Of course. Hold off putting that in. The little button head screw actually sticks up just enough to block the entrance to groove in the extrusion. So this LDO kit came with a SAR Mini that I'm contemplating not using. Been thinking about going with a Pico on this. So if you got any say in that or any opinion on that, leave a comment down below. And while you are down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. Where else can you have so much cheese, right? So we have that. And they show this. They show this kind of sitting right here. Oddly enough. I don't know if there's some corner chunks that we're going to. Oh, I know what we're going to put in there. We're going to put the ends. Yeah. Go figure, right? All right. So we need to do some de-extrusion. So we've got our double D's right here. And our D's are drilled through on that surface, and they have a single hole on the second surface, or yeah, so double on one, single on the other, near the edge. I'm guessing it's for our bottom piece. Makes complete sense. So back to this right here. These are pretty much going to, should pretty much slide through here and do this. Guys, I went a little bit too far. Why is that sticking? What is happening? All right, another oddity there. So this button head screw, actually, the head on it is ever so slightly too big to make it into the extrusion. I'll put that into the failure pile. Grab another one real quick. That's the second piece of hardware that was kind of odd. Not quite sure what the deal was with that. So let's see here, make sure I put this in the right one. So let's see here. Great. Now, let's see, this was a this one. All right. So put this back in. Different screw. And you know what they don't show us on this drawing is they're not showing us the preload nuts into the bottom facing channel. The skirts will mount to them. Okay, so this piece right here, they're not showing you because you can't see it. That your nuts are preloaded in the bottom of this. So the bottom surface we want is for your skirts. So on our piece right here, We have our preload nuts. We'll flip this around like that. And then let's see if we can get this right the first time. Slide it down. Yep, fits there. And then on this one, we're going to slide this one down. And again, fits there. Perfect. Okay. Now, where does that leave us with this? That leaves us with a verification of assembly. Let's go ahead and tighten this up real quick. Just like before, I'm going to use another piece of material here. Actually, I'm going to do this part that's already connected to the frame. And I'm just going to put some down pressure on that. A little chin pressure. That up. The same to the other side here. Okay. Top sections. Clamping that with the force of 140-year-old man. Go. And we'll get this one. Nope. Go ahead and put a tighten on these. There. 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 All right, last here. That we're lined up for the bottom piece that's going to attach our skirt / front piece here. Right. That. And boom. All right. There we go. The cube. All right, back to the screen. So at this point, basically, we're looking at the verification of our assembly on this and verify our preloaded nut count. Check that you preload your required amount of N3 hex nuts in the slots. Adding missing nuts will become increasingly harder the further you progress into the build. So let's get that done real quick. Let's see if I got a good one here. Screen, bench, Jesse bench, zoom. Oh, nope. Well, that's what I'm gonna have. So according to, we need 6 back on this rail. Take my word for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got those guys. We need 3 up here. 1, 2, 3. 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. We need 2 back here. 1, 2. We need 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Okay, now from the bottom back side, I always try to position everything kind of like how I see in the picture. This makes it easier. We need, and this is facing me now, so the picture is kind of, let's see if I can make it look like it does in the picture. There we go. That's pretty close. All right, so they're saying on this bottom section here, see 4 on the bottom here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had an extra one. Not quite sure why, but just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4 there as well. 1 here, which I do have. And then 3 here, 1, 2, 3, which is the same as the 3 on that side. Verify. See, missing notes become. Hey, they very pointed because they had to mention it twice on that one. All right, awesome. So, put this into perspective here. What do I got here? I've got. What do I have that everybody has? How about sticky pad? I'm gonna show the size of this printer. So we're talking about a bed that is probably the size of 4 sticky pads and you're all done. So your build surface is going to be small on this printer, but sometimes good things come in small packages. Because of the size of this printer, because of the mass of what we're moving, the bed, the tool head, all that stuff, we're going to be able to go pretty quick when we print with this, and it's going to be great for printing those small things, and it will still do it precisely because, again, we don't have a lot of slop going on. At this point, we have our bed holder on our 2 linear rails back here. We have our slides here, our linear rails on the side. On each side we have our end stops on these, end stops on the fronts. We have our base plate, we have our front, we have what I can only assume is going to be our screw or our nuts to mount our skirts onto. The photo that I have in the build manual just shows some screwed holes here. I'm assuming to mount some equipment on here. I might have to drill those myself. On this printer, the back actually sets back a little further here, and that's so electronics can get mounted in the back side of this. So there are things mounted both on the bottom and the back of this printer once you're done. So that's where we're at. So right now at this point we're all out the frame 100%. We're going to be doing the AB drive. If you did like this video, if you do like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.